Welcome back. In today's episode, we talk about how to deal with conflicting goals.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performance Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy. Today's question comes
in from Meredith from Tulsa. And Meredith wants to know, how do you reconcile conflicting goals? Meaning, how do you determine which ones to prioritize and or possibly eliminate?
Well, Meredith, this is a great question. And let me be the first one to tell you, and you're not going to like this answer, and a lot of people go around saying this is not true, but they're wrong. You cannot have it all. Let me repeat that. You cannot have it all. Now, you can have anything that you want, but you can't have it all. And this is a great example of this. So let's say that you want to hang out with your friends late at night, okay? And you want to be social. You want to spend time with them. But also you want to get up first thing in the morning and go to the gym. Well, guess what? There might be a conflict here because the later you're out, having a couple cocktails, what's going to happen? You are not going to want to get up and go to the gym. So there's a conflict. You want both, right? But you can't have both because you're not going to do them effectively. You're not going to get the results that you want. Another example, I love to eat. I love desserts. I love food. And I can't go out and gorge myself on food and expect to have a body that is in absolutely great shape. They're not going to work in conjunction with each other. So why does this occur? One is many of us have way too many goals and we want everything. I think I've already addressed that. You've got to make choices on what's most important to you. Second, a lot of time there's a thing called secondary gain. And let me explain this. Have you ever known anybody, or even yourself, that has a behavior and action that really doesn't support them, but they keep doing it? Whether it's smoking or drinking or overeating or whatever it might be. There's a secondary gain that they're actually gaining from participating in that habit, that activity, or that action. And many times it undermines and sabotages our other goals. And we look at it and we go, why would you do that? Let's take overeating, for example, okay? When we overeat and we eat foods that are not good for us, what happens within our body? Dopamine is released. It's a very strong chemical, and we're addicted to it. It's kind of our happy chemical. And the more of this chemical that we get, the more that we want. So what do? We keep that habit continuing. So what happens is we have more of this dopamine in our body, and our body wants more. So we just continue that action over and over again until we've eaten too much and not the right foods. Sugar is a primary trigger for dopamine. Also, pain and pleasure. Our bodies and our minds, what does it want? Pain or pleasure? Pleasure. It goes back to the dopamine as well. Going to the gym, pain or pleasure? Well, for most, it's pain. We're going to avoid the pain and we're going to seek the pleasure. Also, short-term pleasure versus long-term pleasure. Do you want to be happy now, or do you want to do the things that are going to make you happy in the future? Well, you want to do both, but which one ends up getting done? Which one do we gravitate towards?
Short term.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you something on a different gear slightly, because I think this one comes up a lot with a lot of our listeners and just society in general, which is I want to be great at work, a great executive, or I want to launch a business and I want that to be really successful. But I also want to have more time to go to my kids' soccer games. I want to be a great parent. And sometimes the action it takes to do both of those things feels like a conflict, and in fact is a conflict.
Absolutely. And then most people spend their entire lives going around in circles feeling guilty about both.
That's so true.
So there's an example. Look, you can't have it all. You got to choose.
Don't you think you have to, when it comes to something more serious like parenting versus success in business, you have to forgive yourself a little bit? The effort you have to give to one is not going to equal the effort you're able to give to the other at any given time, and you have to start from a place of forgiveness with that.
Look, we could carry this conversation on for the next hour or the next 3 days. Here's what I do in my life. If you try to do every single thing and balance, and this goes back to balance, work-life balance, which is BS. It really is, okay? Don't try to figure out how to do everything in one day, okay? Let me get up really early today, let me go to work, and then let me get to my kid's soccer game and let me do all this. And do that every single day. That's where you get burned out. When you're at work, and this is how I do it, when I'm at work, period. That's it. When I'm done with work, that's it. Done. Then I'm spending time with the kids. Then I'm spending time with friends. You've got to be present, fully attentive. The most effective way of doing this is chunking your time. When you're at work, work. When you're at home with the kids and the family, be there. Don't try to mix the two.
So don't think about one while you're doing the other, and don't bash yourself about the one you're not doing when you're doing the other.
Yeah, and maybe there's 3 games a week, and you can make one. The other 2 you can't. You just have to be okay with that. You need to discuss that as a family, and there's got to be priorities. Look, if you made every single baseball game, you may not have a job, or your earnings may be significantly less than they need to be.
Yeah, you have to determine what's necessary.
Yeah, I've got a friend that's struggling with this. He wants time with himself. He wants time to go play tennis. He's an entrepreneur. He owns his own business. And he feels like every time, no matter what he's doing, if he's playing golf, he feels guilty he's not at work. He feels guilty he's not spending time with the family. When he's with the family, he's guilty that he's not spending time at work. And he's pissed off that he's not playing tennis. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where he is. He's upset and pissed off at someone and himself that he's where he is.
Yeah, he's got to start from a place of prioritization and just recognizing that this is not all possible.
Yes, and most people think they can have it all. Mm-hmm. And they're being sold this.
Right.
Work 4 hours a week, sign up to my program, and you can have it all. Mm-hmm. BS.
Thank you, Meredith. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and let me just add something on the end of this. The most effective way to handle this and stay focused on what's really important is not willpower, not affirmations. It is habits. Habits that you develop and the identity as you see yourself. When you see yourself as someone that is dedicated and spends their time focused on this particular project, this particular area of your life, and then when that's done, you then spend the time, energy in this particular area. Make it part of your identity.
Yeah. And you've always told me, do the best you can with the information you have at the time. And I would translate that to do the best you can with the time you have.
Yes. And use your time efficiently and effectively.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother topic.
Thank you, Meredith.
Every peak performer that has ever lived or will live does one thing extremely well. They know how to take their ideas and execute on them. Ideas and knowledge are not power, but the ability to execute on them, that is real power. If you consider yourself a peak performer and really want to take your game to the next level and truly master the science of execution, I would like to send you some information about our upcoming event, Business Execution Summit. Simply take your phone and text the word BESUMMIT, one word, to 41411. And I'll send you some additional information on how to master the most important skill you will ever acquire for your life or your business. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already done so, please head over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. Also, please share this with family, friends, coworkers, or anyone that could benefit from this information. To make it very easy to share these episodes, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode that you want to share, and you can post it to your timeline. You just might be helping one of your friends on Facebook by sharing it on your page. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. The email is info@thorconklin. While at the website, please sign up for our weekly newsletter with additional tricks, tips, tools, and psychology on how to be a peak performer. Remember, these episodes are anywhere between 6 and 35 minutes and are meant to be consumed during dot time doing other things. Until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.